What's happening, galactic travelers? What's up? I gotta move this around a little bit. What do y'all think of my little hat here? Hello, galactic travelers. Hello, hello, hello. I need to move the camera around just a little bit. So, while I'm doing that, I will say, how is everyone doing? I haven't seen you guys in a minute. Kind of, whoa, ha, whoa. That is a great epilogue right there to Capricorn season, right? This drives me nuts how this is never. This is Capricorn season right here. Working with the 3D, trying to get the 3D to match the 5D. That's Capricorn. And woo, we are having some Capricorn parties in 2019 for real. Yes, we are. And so I went to buy a couple of little things for my son for New Year's Eve tomorrow, and I knew I was gonna do this live, and I was gonna be talking to you guys about the astrology in 2019. What's going on with all these eclipses? What's going on with all this crazy Capricorn energy? Because it's all in Capricorn and Cancer, pretty much. These crazy eclipses that we're having. And then, which gets me so excited because that's what I want to show up and talk about. Like, what does that mean? So I was thinking unicorn. I'll get a little unicorn hat. Man, it's unicorn craze out there. There's unicorn everything because, that's that bloodline, man. Everyone was feeling that unicorn energy. There ain't no way that the whole world got together and put together unicorn marketing that damn fast. That's collective. So I was thinking unicorn because right, that's what we're turning Capricorn into, right? Meow is the unicorn, not two horns, but one horn. And I got there and I started putting all that crazy unicorn stuff on, and I just felt like I had a big penis on top of my head. Every single time I put on one of those little unicorn headbands or whatever, it took me back to Sixth Street in 2002 to a bachelorette party. And I just couldn't do it. And I was like, okay, so forget it. I won't get a hat. And then I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh. Number one, I'm showing straight up with my own personal disco ball on top of my head, fractal and light. Number two, can't get any more Capricorn than this. Happy New Year with the bill, with the ball on top of my head. I'm bringing my own ball. I know that I am my own disco ball. And with this disco ball, we create our own lightning show. Guys, I'm so excited. Capricorn is, you know, up until this point, honestly, Capricorn has not been a big fave of mine. Because the archetype of Capricorn is, organization and government and systems and 3D structure. Capricorns when you actually get thrown in jail, right? It's this hologram thing that we all exist in. That's Capricorn. But what's happening in 2019, because remember we're in this precessional equinox the system, we're a little over halfway through now, a 36-year cycle, and it's getting good because we've done all the clearing and everything. So Capricorn's now turning into the unicorn this year. What does that mean? That means that we've rewritten enough of the energies of the planet that now these eclipse lineups, which are part of the precessional equinox, which are basically being steered by our DNA to return back to our original seed existence of creating on this earth right now in a human vessel. Hoot, hoot, woo. Especially when Jupiter lands in Capricorn, because when Jupiter lands in Capricorn, well, 1 degree of Capricorn, that's Polis. And that's where my Jupiter is, and I learned that that's where Edward Casey's Jupiter was, which makes sense on why everyone's like, "Oh, you sound like Edward Casey," and I'm always like, "Who's that?" I don't because his Jupiter is on was on Polis. Well, Polis is, basically like the original civilization in this dimension, if you will, in a 3D dimension from a soul energy perspective of the one. Okay? So so we're rewriting Capricorn, and this got my attention when I was doing the last video. And I don't know if you heard it. I was talking about the transits. I don't know if I can do this the whole time. I might have to put it back on in a minute. When I did the last video talking about can y'all see that? The the January transits uh that were happening with the eclipse, January 2nd, January 13th, January 6th, and January 21st. I know that those weren't in order. But whenever I did that video is when I recognized, holy crap, we just had a new moon last year. So we had a new moon of Capricorn last year, and we're having a new moon of Capricorn this year, which is seemed off to me, right? Because it switches, you have like a new moon, and then if I have a new moon of Capricorn, then I should have a full moon of Capricorn, right? And then or it's Cancer, it's a pole, it switches. Like it normally you wouldn't have it the same in January, a new moon in Capricorn in January 2 years in a row. So after I did that video, I went and started doing some digging. And that and I'm going to get more detailed into that because it really what I saw was that these new moon of Capricorns, and look, my soul had me doing this is the data. These are the dates. These are the dates of the new moon of when a new moon in Capricorn happened back to back. And then these are the actual dates of when they happened with the year and the numerology, and then looking at what degree of Capricorn we were at, and the numerology, and that is what data I took down this day. I spent like a whole day on this, so I knew it was important, especially when you start doing stuff like that, right? And so when I did that, after I collected this data and I saw some key points, right? Because listen to this. And we've all been talking about the shift, and we know when we know pivotal shift dates, that have happened, we talk about them. 1969, when we had enough of the star seeds here to get the energy to ground those of us mega star seeds that came in and started coming in 1972. These are dates, that we've been talking about. We knew 1999 and 2000 when we had the Y2K thing, and the systems, actually the technology just added a zero, just like we did in the Hindu time way back in ancient, to where now that's when the energy also was a shift. Okay. And then so when you go back and look at when there were 2 new moon of Capricorns back to back, it was 2018, of course, 2018, 2019. I'm gonna list the first date, then you can add on the next one, okay? 2013. So right after the 2012 shift, we had 2 new moons of Capricorn was the last time it happened, which, got my attention immediately. Then 2010, 2001, we all know about that year. Here's the big one, 1999, because 1999 is really when the precession of the equinoxes started. 1994, 1991, and see, then it backs down to only one every 10 years. 1983, 1975, and then 1972, 1969, and 1964. And I didn't go back any further than that. But even with the energies, I can tell the significant shifts that from the data that I saw were 1994 was mega significant, 2000 and one, and then 1999, right? Moving forward after 2000, okay, so that was just that we had 2 new moon of Capricorns back in 2 years. This year, we have 2 new moon of Capricorns this year. We have a new moon of Cap on eclipses. So this is when I was like, holy crap. And y'all tell me if I'm tripping, because if I'm not understanding the cycles right. Does that sound right? I mean, because I didn't go back and look at every this is new moons and Capricorns that happened in January. And the dates are really significant. Like in 2013, for instance, in 2013, look at the numbers. These are the days of the shift. So in 2013, it was 0111, 2013. And then in 2014, it was 0101. You see what I'm saying? There's some patterns, and then that numerology adds up. And actually, I can kind of see, that's how you can start seeing where those template shifts were happening in the dimension, because those were all significant time. Those were very significant, not I don't want to say time, but reality shift times, right? Where there were significant shifts. So this year, this partial solar eclipse, which I have the chart of this listed on that last video that says Starseedology of January. So if you want to go back and look at that, you can actually see the astrology on these days. But I'm just looking at Capricorn, Cancer, eclipses. Every single one of these are on eclipses this year. Not only are they on, are they double all on Capricorn and Cancer, which is what is the poles. So and we've got these 0 degree and 15 degree full moon and new moon patterns that are aligning with it. And then we have all this eclipse energy that's basically like this partial solar eclipse is the new moon of Capricorn, 15 degrees and 31 minutes. This is on Vega. This is Monad. This is Lyra. This is the 12D template. This is locking that dimension, that energy dimension, into a set reality on our plane. If you are resonating to that point, you will start seeing physical things, because it's Capricorn, in your actual reality. And that is on, I mean, even more, right? We're going to start seeing it as a collective. That is on a partial, but that's the imprint that's coming in. It's not like it's just going to all of a sudden you're going to be like, woo, right? But I mean, look at what's coming in. A partial solar eclipse. So I went and looked up just so I understood, and actually I haven't reread this since I wrote it down so we can kind of look over it together because I wanted to really understand what eclipses were. So on the 6th, we have the partial solar eclipse, new moon, Capricorn. Well, remember that the new moon is the sun and the moon on top of each other. So it's it's full manifestation power. It's like you're blowing, and it's just pure source energy, no reflection. Everything you're putting out everything that the resonance of everything that you want to come back at you whenever the moon is then reflecting that back to you, if you think about it like that, because every day is a new moon now, but this is just where there's more power coming in these cycles into this dimension, unlocking our DNA too. So it's kind of like our DNA's unlocking, and their energy and the templates basically, is what's guiding us, and then at the same time these realities are starting to ground into Capricorn, which is earth, which is into systems, once it's in this dimension, and then 2020 is when we'll start seeing even more of it actually manifest into Taurus, into, right, Virgo. You're still going to see things, but I'm saying system changes, earth changes will start. Okay, so the moon and the sun are on top of each other at Capricorn, 15 degrees on Vega, 31 minutes. Partial solar eclipse. The moon comes between the sun and the earth, but the moon only partially covers the sun disk. Moon, sun, and earth align in a straight line, and the moon casts only part of its shadow on the earth. So the moon comes between the sun and the earth. So it's a new moon, double time, but the moon is only partially covers the moon, sun, and earth. And they're all aligned in a straight line. So it's just like a perfect alignment. Okay. So that's on the 6th. Well, then, oh shoot, did I forget one? Hoot hoot. What am I doing? Hell, oh, okay. In between, right? We in January, we have the full moon of Leo at 0 degrees, and then we have all these other, we've got other things that are leading up to July now. And remember, July is 6 months after this imprint comes in, then that's whenever we're locking down in July what we're bringing in January, right? So we get this partial new moon eclipse, partial solar eclipse, new moon of Capricorn, and then on July 2nd, we'll have a total solar eclipse that is a new moon of Cancer at 10 degrees and 42 minutes. So, right, we just blast, blast, blast Capricorn, like change. Here's new ways of doing things. Think outside of the box. We don't need these systems. We don't need this, but we do need this, but we do need this. 6 months later, we're coming with new moon of Cancer, which is mom, which is serious, which is water, which is nurturing, which is love, right? So another force from the north or south, depending on how you're looking at it, especially right now. Hoot hoot. Then on July 16th, we have a partial lunar. Well, let me back up. The total solar eclipse is when the new moon comes between total solar. The total solar on July 2nd is the total solar new moon of Cancer. Total solar eclipse. The new moon comes between sun and earth and casts darkest of its shadow, the umbra. And I still don't understand exactly what that means. So if y'all do, y'all can hey, Carrie Ann. Love you too, girl. Um, okay, I don't wanna get off track. Okay, so that total solar eclipse, Cancer, 10 degrees, 42 minutes. Then that's July 2nd. Then July 16th of 2019, we'll have a partial lunar eclipse on the full moon in Capricorn at 24 degrees of Capricorn. So then 5 months later, the day after Christmas, on the 26th of December, 2019, we will have another new moon of Capricorn at 4 degrees and 9 minutes, 4 degrees and 9 minutes, 13, hoot, hoot. We will have solar eclipse, new moon Capricorn, 4 degrees and 9 minutes, and that's a full solar eclipse. So this year, we have partial solar eclipse, new moon Cap, total lunar eclipse, full moon Leo, 0 degrees, 49 minutes. Total solar eclipse, new moon Cancer, 10 degrees, 42 minutes. Partial lunar eclipse, full moon Capricorn, 24 degrees. Annual solar eclipse, new moon Capricorn, 4 degrees, 9 minutes. And whoa, when you start thinking about to, like the creation and the snake eating its tail and the civilizations, because it's like I can when I look at the chart, it's like now I can with the DNA and the genetics and the history that I know of the beings and all of it, how it loops back together. I when I start looking at the chart now, it's like I see civilization points. And so when we talk about, the snake eating its tail and us starting over and all of that, that's Polis. That's Capricorn, you know? And this is where Pluto and Saturn have been and so it's just it's so exciting and there's so much coming this year. There's just so much coming. Um, and it's Capricorn, right? So it's like all our projects are starting to spring. We're starting to connect with other soul tribe members for the first time ever in this dimension. Don't fight yourself from doing something because your ego's telling you that, "Oh, there's enough tarot readers out there and there's enough astrologers out there and we don't Luna Ash is so popular, I no one will ever leave her to come watch me." Y- No. I was talking to a dear friend from the tribe this morning, Richie, who I haven't talked to in a while. And I have to remind myself of this all the time too, because it's like our ego wants to tell us, well, the light worker community already has, whatever, or, whatever. Like we convince it, and I do it too. It's because I like personally for me, I've reached out to a ton of people in what's considered, the current Sedona lightworker community, and none of them have responded. I feel like they were like, "Who the hell is she?" Because, but that's changing. That's all changing too. Because, I mean, I don't really care if they accept me or not. It's like I'm here to show up for everyone who does, and remember when you start thinking that stuff, then stop yourself and think about it logically and say, "Hold on. Okay, how many people are awake right now?" I mean, because legit, let's think about this. Like, if we're the 144,000, that's the woke, let's just say 15% of the population that needed to be awake in order to trigger the processions. So let's just say, just fine, okay, 20%, which we all know that that's not true. There's 20% of the population is not activated and conscious right now, but let's just say that 20% of the population at this point is activated. Well, we got another 80%, and guess what? They're more like you. There's gonna be a whole group that resonates to how you do it, you know? It's like I got all twisted off talking about astrology in the beginning because at that point, I really thought that there was only one way to view astrology. I thought that I had to learn all the quincunxes and the blah, 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 which I still don't know. Like, that shit makes my brain pop. I understand some of it. I read it differently. Like, when I read the chart, I know that's probably what I'm explaining, but if I think about it from that perspective, like, my brain just implodes upon itself, right? So, but I see DNA, I see civilizations, I see freaking timeline loops, just like we talked about at new moon of Capricorn when we were speeding up the planet is what we were getting pulses of these huge solar flares that were speeding up the planet, and then we had these new moon activations. This has all been a cycle. It's all been planned. The past 7 years, we were just floating in the photon belt. For real. And I'm glad that that led us there because in the last 7 years, guys, we've all been floating in the photon belt. This should say Happy New Year 2012. Happy New Year 2012. Happy New Year 2012. If anything happened to you from the 12th, 2012, January 1st, 2012, whatever's happened from then to now that sucked, forget about it. It didn't happen. We just went in a time loop. If it was good, then store your information. Otherwise, swipe, 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 swipe. All clear. All clear. All clear. 2012, that's where we're going. That's where we're stepping back into. And straight up, everybody, like, I am not joking. And I can see it in the astrology, and it's been happening in my reality. It's been happening in so many of our realities. And the message is that I've been getting in order to help keep myself going and to understand what's coming and is this: whatever we lost, whatever it was, whatever we perceived blew up, came against us, and we lost, that we knew on a soul level. It's like we were successful in it. We didn't understand exactly what it was that we were doing, but we knew that we were spiritually backed, and that's why when it fell apart, it's why it killed us all, right? Because it's like we didn't understand. We might not have been woke and conscious, but it's not like we were out, you know we were doing good things, right? And then it all was taken away. Well, it's like basically from when we entered in 2012, when our energy fields entered that photon belt, we basically then for 7 years experienced the carbon based 3D Capricorn, 3D legal, 3D artificial, everything that could we experienced in the 3D. We experienced it with our projects, what our soul missions were here for. It's like all that came at us. Understand that the past 7 years were like we're kind of like we were I don't want to say we were paying for a debt because that's not what it was, but all the coaching of everything that happened in the past 7 years that you dealt with, that you came out of, because it's all gone now. It's all gone. Like, no matter what happened, as you notice, it's all gone because we dropped those timelines immediately into, as soon as we could in 2000, so it's like, even though it was all horrible for all of us, it's like none of it is in our lives anymore, right? Because we crashed those timelines. Well, from 2012 to now, when the energy moved in, it's like all that negative in our soul missions. It was like the carbon base of that. Then all the negative imprint, the clay that molds is the negative energy, if you will. So wherever you left a bunch of clay energy, no matter why you were there doing it, take a look at that, because what's happening is that's now we've set that energy. Now we've come out of that carbon base. We've come out of that photon belt, but it's like we laid all that fertilizer, and somehow or another, as long as you're resonating and you're in your path and you keep your mind open, and you're creating and you're spending time figuring out what you really want and what you really want to do, and just taking small actions towards that, and recognizing when your mind is tricking you and trying to stop you, and just saying, hey, not today, not on my watch, I'm putting a disco ball on my head. Aloha. Hey, Fifth World. Satan still her divinity and lied about her identity, using as Satan, piece of God. Oh, those words. All those words. So, yeah, right? So we're stepping back into, it's like the true. It's kind of like, we wrote our story. We got here. Okay. We whatever we were building, it's like those skills were either ones that in some way will are it's exactly what I need. It's like I had 20 years in staffing and recruiting and building teams, you know? That's basically what I did for huge companies, built their teams, put people together, you know, we being able to motivate teams, and personality match, and right, but it was really just energy. But I perfected that in a 3D realm before I was activated. So in some way, that's going to be a huge part of my mission. And so, of course, now that I've cleared myself and I'm getting connected into the 5D, it's like I'm finding myself, you know, gravitating back to that way of doing things, and it's just naturally what's happening. So since there's no money exchange for it, I mean, it's just because it's just, hey, free, hey, you need to talk to this person. It's becoming, that's where I'm doing a little bit of stuff for the cocoa right now. So look at those things that you love of your experiences, and whatever you don't love, don't keep. Crap it out. Just like food, we keep the nutrients and then we out the rest. Well, out the rest and disattach from it. What else? I feel like I'm having some type of kundalini activation. My pupils feel big. Speaking of, are y'all having any, so I have been for the past 3 days, having like a kundalini, I don't know what it, I have energy in the bottom of my spine that since Christmas, it's like I feel like I have a electric screwdriver plugged in to the bottom of my spine and it's going zzz, zzz, zzz. I mean, just like that. Zzz, zzz, zzz. I was wondering if you guys were feeling that, it's like, I've been tuning into it and releasing, but I also know that we're literally, I mean, it legit feels like my body's getting screwed out of. I've been, oh, since lots of symptoms here. I feel like I'm getting unscrewed from something. Slow burn, but it's like, it's crazy. Um, Besides that, personally for me, I've just been pretty chill. I ha I haven't had to deal with anything crazy, except my own self. So besides that, everything's been pretty cool. I know I feel so much building and getting closer. Um, a sense of peace. Um, in my dreams, I wake up always in the morning with a new way to describe how everything's just divine, beautiful, and falling exactly in place how it should be. One morning, I woke up with this crazy image, and I was gonna do a video about it, but now I'll just share it. But I woke up thinking about Hollywood Squares. Do y'all remember that show, Hollywood Squares? Hollywood Squares. Y'all remember Hollywood Squares? So I woke up thinking about we've all been in Hollywood Squares. And it's like I could so see all of, just in, in my dream, in my mind, that's like we were all in these like little energetic squares. Millions and millions and millions of us just in these little energetic squares. But some were blue, like lit up and activated, but then others were like where we were, kind of more, they were more pink. The colors weren't blue, it was more like a natural color. And while everyone else looked like they were really entrenched into their square, it's like we were just kind of floating around in it, like peeking our heads up, looking out. Hey, what's up? Everything good up there yet? Nope, not ready yet. But that's really what it felt like, and it was like energetically what I was seeing was our bodies getting released from these strongholds in these boxes. But those of us that are at that point right now to where we're really outside of that whole becoming, out of that time construct and really starting to live a higher dimensional life, a different reality, right? Then, um, yeah, it was just, I lost my train of thought on that. But anyway, what else was I going to tell you guys? Oh, I don't want to announce too much, but I'll just put a little teaser here. So, Cassandra and I from Rebel Humanitarians have yesterday, we said we're doing this 100%. We are going to do a seminar. It is going to be called Rebel Humanitarian Starseedology Eclipse of the Star Races, and it's going to be January 13th. It's going to be somewhere between noon and 3. We'll have up in the next, probably by right after the new year, where the how to sign up. You can sign up on the Rebel Humanitarians site for it, and you'll get a Zoom link. So it'll be a Zoom meeting, but it'll be about a 4-hour workshop. And what we're gonna do is talk about the star races. So that I have not had time to sit down and really put any one video or one sitting, especially conversing with someone else, to get get more Akash on all of this, right? I mean, you guys that have done starseedology with me know I've got some, but we don't talk about it for out, for forever. So now Cassandra from Rebel Humanitarians has taken Maru's quantum astrology course, and so she's certified. So now she has all of the history on those star races. So this will be the first time that we come together and pull together all this information. And so what we're going to do is uh, we're going to have some discussions and actually talk just before everything, talk and tape it, and Sirius, Orion, and Taurus, and we're going to break them out. So probably by the end of the month, if you aren't able to do the seminar, you'll be able to go to Rebel Humanitarians on and just purchase that video for, let's say, $44, and it'll be in a 45-minute long, 30-minute long of all your DNA, what that means on timelines, what that means for programs, what that means for history, everything about that starseed location. And then all you'd have to do is get someone to do a starseed chart, right? And then you can do one of those at a time and not have to pay, $300 for a session, or even 222, right? I'm trying to figure out how to get this information to you guys for a lower price, and so that I'm not repeating it over and over and over again, so we can go build these other things. So we're going to have those videos that are going to be available, that we're going to practice while we make them. And then on the seminar, then we'll be talking about each one of those. So that is going to be $222. And that's to sit in the seminar, ask questions, whatever. You'll be part of the whole thing. You'll get all the star races, everything. We can ask some questions in that. And then for 90, or it's actually, I'm sorry, 244 total, because we're also planning on doing a little surprise with that for you guys that register. So you get like a little gift. And then also, then if you wanted, or if you already have your starseedology chart, or if you want a chart, then that's another $100. We're also going to focus at the end on the eclipse. That'll be on the 13th, so we'll be focusing on the 21st and talking about all the star races, and then at the end you'll be able to understand what's being triggered now, and see how it comes through the timelines of the star of our seed, because that's basically what's happening, is it's connecting. And hold on one second, this dog is going crazy. Bailey, I wish y'all could see him. Bailey, he's rubbing his face in the oot, oot. Anyway, so you'll be seeing way more of that, but I just wanted to kind of talk about it, drop it right now, let everyone know, because it's coming up fast, but we're doing it. So if you want to get the download and you want to hear it first, because this is all, take this whole workshop is I hope I get my those of you who are doing astrology, those of you who are doing tarot or whatever, and if you want to add another element to your sessions, then freaking here it is. Because it's not too hard to figure out once you know the points of where they're from, and whenever then you have like a blueprint of what that means from an energy level, where then that means that they're way etheric. They might not, like a lot of you guys get so irritated with yourself because you don't feel like you're in your body ever. Well, it's because you're not. You don't have any of the matter based templates. So it's like, yes, you just have to realize that, and then you have to balance that out, right? But once you do, then you're like, oh shit, well that's why I can't do it. Okay, well I'll stop judging myself for it and just freaking fix it, you know that, and just with all the other gates, because it's like we're doing the Lyra template now. I mean, it's going to continue, the DNA is continuing to lock in at different junctures, throughout all of this. It also defines, whenever you see Orion and you see, Alpha Draconic, and you see specifically any of those, you automatically know that they're going to have some type of sexual trauma, um, or power over sex or something, right? If they have Regulus, it's like you automatically know that they've been an NFL football player, and then they hurt themselves and lost everything or lost their company or whatever. I mean, it's like it's each one of us. It's when you see those, when you see what I've been able to uncover in this, and you start really looking at it. And when you look at someone's chart, it's just like you can just see the layers of programs. And then you realize that they were just damn programs from being in that dimension. And as soon as you're able to recognize that, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, that's why I put that there. So this is going to be on the star races. And I know you guys this is what you've been waiting for, is better ways to get this information. The cosmic egg, how does that work with a hybrid? Hybrid. If y'all want, you might not have been talking to me. I can chat for a second. Did y'all have anything else that y'all wanted to chat about? Um, oh, here. So we talked about the new moons of Capricorns, how they were 2 years in a row. Uh those dates again, just because I don't have them written up here, were 2018, 2013, 2010, 2001, 1999, 1994, 1991, 1983, 1972, 1975, 1969, 1964. So coming up, so 2019 we have 2, and then 2021 we'll have 2 in a row for 21 and 22. Then we won't have another set until 2029. So we have 2029, 2030, and then 2032, 2033. 2032, 2033, that's real close. I think 2030, 1936 years. Yeah, 2035, 2036 is the complete done. Like the procession is done. Like everything's completed. But the major things are going to happen not all at the end, just like they didn't all start in the beginning, you know. So yeah. Okay, I'll look up, but I'll move more in first. What else? What are y'all's New Year's plans? Is everyone tomorrow night? I think I might pop back on with my disco hat. I was actually driving in the car with this hat on today. I was walking I'm so excited for 2019, guys. I mean, this is a 3-year to catalyst. We've got all this Capricorn energy. I don't know about y'all, but for me, I'm 46 right now. This is my year 1. You know, take a look and see what year it is for you. What does your numbers add up to? It goes in 9-year cycles. So, you know, if you're age 45, you're in a year 9. If you're 36, you're in a year 9. If you're 27, you're in a year 9. If you're in a year 9, then shit is blowing up and it sucks. And I guarantee you it'll happen in another 9 years, but in a different way. You know, we don't have to we don't have to do that again. No, 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 no. But you know what I mean? Like, so but if you're and are you in a year 8? Are you in a completion? Are you in a year 7? Are you in a year 2? You know, or a year 1 is like, man, things are starting to take off and connect. 2, things are starting to flow. 3, bam, things explode. Year 4, you're grounding that in. Year 5, I don't know, that's up to you. You're either going to take off or you're going to fall back, you know, and then you're going to hit that next catalyst. So, year 9, a lot of us are as star seeds because we came in these transits and these different dimensional timelines. A lot of us are in our like 9, 8, 9, 1-year cycles. So for the collective, this is a year 3. 3, wee 21 years old, year 3. Yeah, I had breakfast with my son today and I was like, holy moly. In the year 2019, I'll be 47 because turn 47 in 2019, which equals 11, and my son will be 11. Of course. Of course. So, I'm not gonna let you guys go. I mean, I'm not gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna let you guys go. Um, We got this. 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 I'm so excited and I'm so grateful and uh I can't wait to see what all happens this year. You know, when no matter what, when you look back at last year and where you were this time last year, I know your mind is blown. I mean, I know it is. So look how far we've come. And look how we don't have anywhere to go but up. And we have no chains to hold us down. And we just have to chill, relax, love, stay out of judgment, be an observer, and be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for what makes your heart sing. And attach to that. And besides that, we're staying in our little spaceship because this is not just a Capricorn party. No, 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 no. This is a straight up rave. In the 3D this year. And trust me, you don't want to go in the back at the rave. It's not very clean. Ooh, and definitely don't touch anything. So just stay at the front. Staying at the front. I love you guys. Oot, oot. Talk to you soon. Happy New Year!